So for my next card, I want to bring in this God is Love stamp set. I want to use this floral card and bring in these wood stamps and die cut out the Easter lilies and the cross and bring in some of these great sentiments. God so loved the world, Easter blessings, happy Easter. I think this is really pretty. I'm also going to bring in this card front thin cut. This is a metal die. I'm not going to use the stitch. I'm going to use the middle part, this intricate card front panel. And this is the stitched card front and background. So I'm going to bring that in. And I did already cut that. And at the end, I'm going to bring in this Happy Mail seals. It's a tongue twister, say it several times. I'm going to bring in a couple of these on the back. We did the one already, but we're going to put these on the back of our cards. So I'm going to bring in my all-purpose mat real quick. I don't need the whole thing. I just need a little piece. And I'm going to take my palette knife and I'm going to directly put my liquid pearls. I'm using the white opal liquid pearls. I'm going to put them directly on my palette knife. And I'm going to take my card front and I'm just going to put this right over in the middle. This is going to give this beautiful, like white opal shimmer, like not shimmery, but like a pearl shine to it. And it's just going to be super, super pretty. And the reason I'm using my all-purpose mat instead of, well, we're making a mess, we're using our mixed media, is I want to be able to like get the rest of that up. And if I used a piece of paper, I would not have been able to do that. So I'm not sure you can see this on camera, but it gives us this really pretty pearl effect. So that's what I was going for. So I went ahead and die cutted my pieces, and I did my flower in white daisy, and I did my leaves in sage. I just love this stitching on these leaves. It's so cute. So I'm going to color my flower, but before let's color the flower. I'm going to color the flower, and I'm going to use Coral Blend and Dull Green Tri-Blend markers. These are my absolute favorite markers. I'm sure you've heard me say that lots of times in my videos. I just love these markers. So I'm not going to give this a whole, like I'm not working on this effect that I'm doing on this, the technique I'm doing on this, I should say, this flower is I'm just kind of adding a little bit of color. I am not going all the way to the edge and like coloring this flower perfectly for the effect that I'm going for on this card. So I'm just kind of giving it a couple little lines, and I'm using the light blend right now. And then I'm going to go in with my dark, and I'm just going to do that on the edges right there on the tips of the end of the flower. So I am going to bring in my dull green, and I want to bring in the medium one, and I'm going to do my flowers on my leaves. I'm sorry. So for my these little leaves, it was better to give it like a little dot effect. I'm going to come back in now with my jelly roll. Not only am I going to use this to clean up anywhere I kind of went out of the line, but I'm also going to use this to put a little highlight on my leaves. So I'm just going to take some of my leaves and I'm going to add a little bit of a highlight on them. I also want to take my, I'm going to take a dome blending brush in my mink ink, and I am going to go around the edges of that just so I'm going to pop this, but this is going to help it stand out from my white background, even though my white background will have this stencil. So now I'm going to bring in the mink ink, and I'm going to stamp my wood slats over on this cross, because my cross is made of wood. I'm going to do this. This is going to be pretty light, but trust me, in person, you can definitely see the wood slats, but it just gives it just another little touch. Stamping is something I love doing. So I'm not sure if you can see that, if it picks it up, but so there's the wood slats on there. And our thing looks pretty, just a little touch of color. Let's go ahead and make our flowers real quick. So I'm going to take the big one, the big flower with the back, and I just kind of want to like put it together like this, and I'm going to add a little bit of glue on that, just in the center. So metal dies are my jam. I love all things paper crafting. I'm like, oh, do I like that better than mixed media? Do I like that better than stenciling? Nope, I don't. I love all those things. So who am I kidding? But I do. I love metal dies. I mean, who likes to fussy cut? I don't like to fussy cut. I mean, I will. I enjoy that technique too, but I love when there's a die cut and you can just cut it out and it makes these really cute, pretty detailed images. So I love metal dies, and it's so cool how you can make these realistic looking flowers. So I have centers for those, and I'm going to bring in the stamp set. I'm going to bring in melon, and I'm going to bring in peach. And I'm going to stamp my center in peach. And I'm going to stamp the other piece in, oops, wrong one, oops. I'm going to stamp that in melon. Cute. Okay. So I brought in a piece of peach cardstock, and I'm going to use the light side of peach, and I'm just going to glue this right down here. And I'm going to use the Barely Art glue because it has a real fine little point. Stands up, but I think I want to add a little border around here, and I'm going to use the opposite side of the peach. I'm going to use the dark side, the true side, and I'm going to gut that because I could totally use this for a mat behind a photo or anything else. So I just wanted to show you real quick. I do this with most of the things I do on my layouts. So I'm just going to put that, trying to see and not getting in your way. I'm going to take that about 1/4 of an inch down and bring that down to about 1/4 of an inch. And you can't do that with a guillotine paper trimmer. I can't do it with my cutter bug. I'm sorry, my Caterpillar, which I use for a lot of my cutting. If I have to cut little pieces, so I don't need that. I'm going to save that for another time. If I have to cut small pieces, like less than an inch, I definitely use my SureCut trimmer. So I got that glued down, and I did use some foam tape to go ahead and pop up my cross. I'm going to build my flower now, and I'm going to have my lily going across. So I'm going to bring in a little bit of glue again. I went ahead and stamped Easter blessings in black ink, and I'm going to put a little bit of ink around the edges of that as well, just to highlight it. I'm not really doing a lot of edge distressing. I'm just kind of making that pop out and giving a little separation. Do you like card making, or are you a scrapbooker? Do you love both of them? What's your favorite thing to do? Tell me in the comments. I love to hear about people's favorite things, you know, whether they're scrapbookers or card makers or what they really enjoy doing with paper crafting. I am going to be putting together a series of scrapbooking card making organization. I don't know if you're like me, but in the spring, I love to organize and reorganize. I'm just going to bring in some gold sequins in my stash. I love to, I'm going to use my pickup tool because this is really, really easy to do it with my my gems. I don't have to worry about them sticking to my finger because that happens, or being able to pick them up. So this is super easy for me. But in the springtime, I really love to organize my scrapbooking, and I'm always looking for really cool supplies to use, or not supplies, I'm sorry. I'm looking for ways to organize my stuff better. And so I'm going to do a series of organization, and I'm going to show you how I organize my craft supplies. And I will also do a room tour, a studio tour, so there'll be a little behind the scenes of Scraptastic Creations. And I will also do an in-depth tour where I go through drawers and really dive deep and show you. But I'll save that till the end. So that series should be starting here soon, so stay tuned for that. I'm wanting to get that, here's where I could pull that in. I wanted to get that, I want to stamp that "For God So Loved the World" in the middle, and I think I'm going to make a banner, so I will cut this and be right back. So I got that cut down, and I'm going to stamp that. I am going to practice for a minute on a scratch piece of paper. And I got ink on my edges. I actually did that on purpose just to show you. You got to be careful. It's just a little tip. I just kind of like to show you little things not to do. So it's a good idea to use a block that is about the same size of your image. I have lots of blocks in lots of different sizes, but I have a workshop tomorrow that I'm doing, and I have a lot of stamps on blocks, so I probably have about 20 blocks with stamps on them already, so I was running low. I used a bigger one, but I like how that came out, and I'm just going to go ahead and dovetail the ends of that to give it like a little banner effect. That looks good. And then I want to bring in my Easter, my Happy Easter. So I'm going to bring my black back in, and I'm going to stamp. I am reminding you that I did flip my mat over, and sometimes I forget to do that, and my image does not come out as clear. So I'm just going to give it a minute to soak in. And beautiful. It's a perfect image. And then I'm going to do the same with my Easter. Perfect. So there you have it. We have a cute little Easter blessings card. So there you have it. There are our beautiful cards. And I want to show you what I did. So when I was bringing in the seals, which I got all of them on the back of my cards, so I did them all. I just did a random one of each one of them. When I did that, I dropped my ink pad right on my card. So I'm going to show you how I can fix that easily. So I just went ahead and cut another flower out and sanded it real quick. And I'm going to line it up right over top of this. And no one will ever know I put that glue on there. And I'm going to just make sure I hold my petals down on top of the other one and kind of line it up. And even if you don't line it up, it just looks like a layered flower. And these are layered flowers, right? So I'm literally going to hold that down and get that glued in place. And I'm probably going to glue mine completely down, my petals down on top of the other one, so it just looks like the one flower. So there you have it. I'll finish that off camera, but here are the cards that we made. And I'll go ahead and give you a closer look. So here's the Easter card that we made. And here's the wishing you sunshine and happiness, the birthday card that we made. And here is the thinking of you card that we went ahead and made and then turned around. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please hit the subscribe button and I'll see you next time.